Good morning. I am shaking things up a little bit today by running by my daughter's school. So there's a bike and running path downtown here, and I will be hitting that up today. I think I might do 6 miles, but we'll see. I don't know. Kyle and I have not slept well over the past 2 days. 2 nights ago, we had a smoke alarm chirping in the night, and the only reason that I even woke up from it was because our 60-pound dog was trying to crawl underneath our bed. And she was terrified. So I had to go replace the batteries and then actually lift the bed off of her because she was stuck underneath it. So that happened 2 nights ago. And then last night, the 2-year-old was up a few times. So not well rested, but that's okay. So I'm going to see if I can go 6 miles today. If I can't, ain't no big thing. And I'll just do what I can do, winter maintenance, right? Am I right? I'm right. So, not much to do on the homestead today either. It's going to be -8 a couple days from now. And so we need to add a little more glycol or antifreeze to our wood boiler. Because right now, we had it tested a few weeks ago, and it tested at 15 degrees, which means that the temp can get to 15 degrees before it freezes, before the glycol water mixture freezes. And because we're not running it, we need to get that temperature down. So instead of it freezing at 15 degrees, hopefully by adding 5 gallons of glycol, it'll freeze. It won't freeze until it gets to like -20 or something. That's a guess. Yeah, what a great day. What a fantastic day. So I'm going to hit up this run, and I'll see you afterwards. Let's do it. So I had to stop for a second to stretch out my hams and to shoot off a couple snotters. And I decided only to do 5 miles today, just because that's what has felt right so far. So I'm at the 2.5 mile mark right now. Stop to stretch out some things, and then I'm headed back right now. Feels good. What a beautiful day. This is the trail. Everybody, welcome to the trail. It's nice. It's like a winter wonderland out here. Hey guys, I am back, and that was so much fun. That was so much fun. It was definitely cold. I only went 5 miles, just because that's what felt right. I got to the 2.5 mile mark and was just like, I think that's it. I'm gonna turn around. And it was perfect. It was the perfect distance. I don't feel exhausted, but I feel like I got my blood pumping, and that's what matters. And it was beautiful out. I really enjoy running on the country roads a lot more than almost anywhere else. And I think it's just because that's what I'm used to. Every time I encounter someone on the bike path here, I get a little tense. And there's no reason for it other than stranger danger, I guess. And they're out there for the same purpose I am, really. And so I shouldn't be like skittish around them. But I am a little bit, I feel like I could easily be dragged into the woods. And I, for some reason, feel like it's much more plausible on a bike path than it is in the country. And I don't know why that is. It's a me issue, probably. And honestly, I'm probably more likely to get struck by lightning than I am to be abducted or assaulted. I had a dream once that I was running, and I was running on a bike path, and I had to run through this kind of open air barn. And inside the barn were a bunch of dudes, and I had to run through them, and everything was fine. But then I realized that at my turnaround point, I would have to run back through that barn, and I was really nervous about it. And in my dream, I turned around and ran through the barn, and it was a little scarier. Like I felt like arms were reaching for me and people were trying to touch me. And I came out on the other side unscathed. But it's a dream that like has stuck with me, right? And it has to be about feeling safe and comfortable on a run alone as a woman. And there's a part of this bike path that I run down today in near my daughter's school that always has there's a place on the path that has a bench, and it's for these factory workers that work in a factory that's just across from the path. And so these guys have their break on this bench, you know, all year. It doesn't matter what the temperature is. It doesn't matter what the temperature is. They're out there smoking on their breaks, which is, you know, it's their prerogative. But I always remember that dream every time I run by them, and think like one of these guys, or maybe all of these guys, could like try to run after me. But I have to remind myself that those guys are probably just as likely to help me as they are to hurt me, right? Like, I don't know them. I'm just projecting this weird fear onto them. And that's not right. Like, I don't want to not run just because I'm fearful of something that'll probably never happen, right? Like, I don't want to get struck by lightning, but it doesn't mean that I'm not going to walk outside when it's raining. That would be ridiculous. Anyway, there's that. Okay. I had to share that. So now I'm going to head home and work and then do some farm chores at lunchtime as per usual. And that's it, man. It's beautiful out. 18 degrees, it says. There's a slight wind, so it probably feels colder. Definitely feels colder. There was a moment on the run when my second toe was completely numb. And it's such an odd feeling when only like, you can tell that one digit is just not present, and it's weird. It's a weird feeling. All right then, that's it. I'll see you guys later. Hey you guys, so today's chore is adding glycol to our wood boiler. So we ran out of wood and we had to shut off our wood boiler a few days ago, and so water is no longer flowing underground because we turned off the breaker and we're using LP now. So why are we adding glycol? So right now our glycol water mixture is tested, was tested recently, and it was tested at like the freezing point being at 15 degrees Fahrenheit. And the problem with that for us is that overnight, Thursday night, today's Tuesday, overnight Thursday night, it's going to be a low of -8. And because the water glycol mixture is no longer moving and it will be below 15 degrees, we do run the risk of that mixture freezing underground. And if it freezes, then there's a big risk of pipes bursting and horrible things happening. So we bought some glycol and 5 gallons of it, in fact. And so today's job is to open this up and have the water mixture pour out of here, fill a 5-gallon bucket of it, and then when Kyle gets home, he will dump 5 gallons of straight glycol into the wood boiler system. And we'll have the breakers on at that point so that the pumps are moving the liquid throughout the system, just to make sure that that new glycol gets added to everything. And then we should be good, you know, probably to a temperature of much less than -8. So that's why we're doing that. It's an important job. It's not just, you know, it's everything that we do around here is important, but this task is especially important since it's going to be so cold in a few days. So that's what I'm going to do. First step, drain 5 gallons of water glycol into a 5-gallon bucket. glycol antifreeze that we'll be pouring into the wood boiler. We're actually going to pour it into this gallon milk jug just so that it's easier for us to pour into the boiler itself. So this is a water gauge that gives us a visual of how much water is in the boiler system. So I emptied 5 gallons today. It probably was up here, right? Earlier. And so now we see that it's down. So we're gonna fill it back up. So after putting 5 gallons of glycol in, you see now that the gauge, the water level has risen. So we should be good to go when it's going to be -8 in a couple days. So there we go. We're good. During this cold snap that's coming up, we'll be fine. No fear of burst pipes or anything catastrophic like that. So thanks for watching, and I hope that if you like this video, you'll feel so inclined to like and subscribe. And I'll see you next time, either on the run or on the farm.